And welcome to Shockmania this evening, a Saturday evening, if I am recalling correctly, because it's a Sunday morning for me, obviously. And of course, here, I did it. Here,
You did it.
we've got Holly. Say hello, Holly. Nope, Holly's frozen, so we'll go back to Holly. Here, we've got Nedd.
Hello.
Say hello,
Hello.
Nedd.
What's up, nerds?
How are you tonight, both of you?
I don't know. I'm trying to decide. Is Holly? So you're in the future because it's Sunday morning.
I am, yes.
I think Holly's in the past because she's on like a 2-minute delay.
Indeed, she is. Yes.
All right. So that makes this time loop stream like indirectly on point.
Absolutely. It's quite creepy, in fact, how all the technical problems that we've been having in our practice session are really highlighting the dangers of time loop. Holly, are you back with us now? Say something.
I never left. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Kurt. Welcome to this chat. So we're going to go straight into it. I think we're not going to do any pleasantries because we all know each other, don't we?
Yeah. I know you too. I know Kurt as well.
Beautiful. Tonight's topic is very interesting. It's something that was a little close to Holly's heart, and I think about an hour ago she regretted this whole topic. We're going to look at horror time loop movies. Now, I find them fascinating. What about you, Nedd? How do you find horror time loop movies?
Well, I know we're going to get a little bit into the meat in it. I think Holly's got something to share with us.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just kind of glaze the surface of what I think about time loop movies. I think that they are really difficult to pull off. You have to kind of stay in a lane. You either need to go with totally serious or totally whacked and off base. If you try and sort of straddle them, just like with time paradoxes, the thing goes kerplunk.
Absolutely.
I'd say the other element of this is that when you're making a time loop movie, or having an element of time loop in it, you are bridging science fiction with, you're either going to blend it with, go pure science fiction, you go thriller like in Predestination, like a thriller mystery caper, or I think the most difficult genre to do is, quite frankly, horror.
Holly, how would you respond to that?
Well, after watching like 10 movies this week to kind of catch up, I completely agree. I think time loop in general is a great concept and a great idea. It is not well executed for horror because it tends to lean way too heavy into sci-fi. And for me, that doesn't really work when you're trying to do horror.
Well, it's going to be an interesting debate if both of you are on the same side.
Well,
okay, wait, no, so, Nedd, you're wrong.
How about we start?
I wanted to say you're wrong first, because I would say when it veers, here's a problem: when it tries to veer off of science fiction and pull away from it, it starts to go into the retardation lane.
Gentlemen, is what happens when you have technical problems, and why it's pre-record things and never go live. Just Dan's 2 cents.
Always go live.
Anyway, I've got you back, both of you. Holly, this is your time to absolutely shine. And you might as well start with the horror rules.
All right, so this is why I had a little bit of an issue, because some of the movies I did previously like ended up now rewatching them did not fall into the categories of the rules.
Is this working? All right, beautiful. Yeah. Let's go.
First off, someone has to know. There has to be at least one person who knows that there's something going on, that there is a loop going on. The loop has to restart at the same point, same day, same time. And there needs to be some type of apparatus. They have to either restart the loop by dying, falling asleep, or the day just runs out. So those are the hard rules. And I do want to add this in. Time travel and time looping are not the same thing. Oh yeah, there's the rest. Degradation. If the character is not starting to basically lose their shit at some point, it's not worth it for me. Whether it's they have to start breaking down physically, mentally, or hey, both, because I'm just evil like that. um, and there has to be some type of way to break the loop. If there's no, yeah, they you have to be able to break the loop, and that will vary based off of the rules that the specific movie establishes. But these are like these are the rules that it has to follow. Obviously, there's going to be little things that differ because different movies have different rules. Like Happy Death Day, she dies and everything. She has to die or she has to live. Like every movie is going to have like subtle differences, but these are like the heavy hitters for me. If it doesn't have these, I don't consider it time looping. It'll either be time travel or time bending, which
Now you
again,
have one
are
more
not the same
rule.
thing.
You have one more important rule.
Yes, this is the big thing for me. So I rewatched Time Crimes, and I ended up realizing that it was more on the time travel aspect. It didn't fall into the loop. Like time travel is not the same thing as a loop, where time travel is a movement, whereas a loop is just continuously like this. In time travel, depending on the movie's rules, you can go back here, you can go back here, and then kind of move through that. But with a time loop, it's just this constant circle. You're
So we're
just
not
going
counting
to
Back
be
to the
doing it.
Future. Is that what you're saying?
Not today.
Ned, do you disagree with
today.
anything that Holly has said in regards to these rules?
Her last point is 100% on point. That is, to me, because I agree. There's lots of movies that are considered time loop movies that I actually do not think are. She mentioned Time Crimes, and I'm going to mention The Final Girls.
Yes.
The Final Girls doesn't even resemble a time loop movie. And if we have time, I wouldn't mind talking about some of the hangups that I have with that movie. But can we go back to the slide before, please?
We can. I believe I can go back. Yep, there we go.
Am I sensing a disagreement?
Escape. I just wanted some clarifications. Escape must be possible. Does that mean that the protagonists at some point come to the realization that escape is possible? So basically, I don't want to be putting bullet points on your bullet points, but are you saying that there is a resolution in the movie, or that there is the hope of ending the cycle that's looming in the movie, and whether or not they achieve it or not is not relevant?
For me, whether they achieve it or not is not really relevant. There just has to be some kind of way for them to do it. And there's a specific movie that does come to mind where that actually does come into play, where the I don't want to say it because you mentioned it when we were chatting.
Okay.
The main character does know, I guess, in a way that she can end the loop, and she just kind of keeps choosing not to.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
I'm sure we'll be talking about that movie later.
So should we start with Holly's choices?
No, I still want to go back to the rules a little bit. Let's go back one.
Okay, yeah. Which rule do you want to look at, Ned?
You gotta go back one. I already agree with her on that one. I 100%. I agree with you on the degradation, because that's what, in terms of, when we watch a movie, we all know we're going to be buying into some kind of premise. And so a time loop is obviously kind of an impossible premise, but we go into it knowing that this is what it is. So we're there to eat the main course of time loop. But within that, we still want the verisimilitude of how do characters interact with that kind of a premise. So if there has to be some kind of degradation, some kind of realization, because being stuck in a time loop, particularly in a horror movie, if it's like, Bill Murray and Groundhog Day, then what are we watching here? This character is not going mad, and there's no investment and there's no threat. There has to be some kind of a threat, some kind of a tension established. So you're on point that one. I love it. But go to the back one. Go to her first points. The loop has a fixed reset point. I don't agree with that at all. I think movies should get creative with different reset points, and I'm okay with things not being, because what that does is that puts it in a movie template where now every single time loop type movie we're getting into, we already know what's going to happen. We already know that, okay, these are the rules with all these time loop movies. And it just, okay, let's just see this variation of characters, these variation of maybe plots, these variation of slasher killers, whatever it's going to be. But I'm okay with movies diverging from this. So I don't agree with that at all. As long as a time loop is established and we know there's a repeating of events and there's a cycle at play, I think that is not necessary whatsoever. I think you're dead wrong in that aspect, Holly. So I'm going to take extreme umbrage with that.
Do you want me to tell you why you're wrong?
Yeah, you got to. Yeah.
You're wrong because this is one of my honorable mentions that I want to mention it. Well, since I didn't put it on my list, fine. The Endless. I'll just mention it now because it's not on my list. The Endless. It is about a time loop, but the main characters are not in the time loop yet. They are watching numerous other time loops take place. So for me, the time loop has to start at the same point, but I never said that we couldn't see it from different angles. I never said we couldn't see it from a different point of view.
Okay.
So the loop itself has to start at the same point, but that doesn't mean that we, the viewer, are unable to see it from a different point of view. We, like in The Endless, the main character is seeing other people's loops play out. So the reason that I didn't put that in my top list was mainly because the main character is not the person in the loop, but we're still seeing the loops playing out, and they're playing out from the same exact point. Therefore, the loop has to start at the same point, and when it resets, it has to go right back to that point.
All right. The Endless, it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, that's a great segue, Holly. Do you want to introduce your three?
Sure.
Let's do it. And here we go.
Okay, so Until Dawn, I couldn't not put Until Dawn again because it's like my favorite one now. Haunter, I liked this. This one is slow. I will say it's slow, but I like this movie for the simple fact that it does do something different with its time loop. Like when we start the movie, the main character has already been in this time loop for an unspecified time. She already knows what's going on. You're just dropped into it with her.
Interesting.
And yeah, which I haven't seen that done in a lot of movies. It's usually like you're starting out with them and then you're going through the process with them when they find out. In this one, she's been in that loop for like 20 something years already, I think longer. And she does end up still going through that, mental degradation later on when things in the loop actually start changing. So you still get to see all of the points that I made just in a completely different way. And this one is actually very supernatural also. This movie is slow, So I will say if you're not into like slower paced movies, you won't like it. But at least like a one time watch, it's a really good one.
Now,
Um,
Ned, do you want to rebut this or do you want to wait until later?
I'll wait on this one. I like her
Okay.
synopsis there.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
and Happy Death Day, I think, follows the time loop rules very well. It's fun, it's funny, I it's a slasher, so it's not scary in any type of sense like that. Um, but this one just it follows the rules. She starts at the same time every day. She ends, I mean, obviously depending on when she dies, it ends at a different time, but it always restarts. And the way to end her time loop, every day to restart it is the same thing. She gets killed, starts back over. The only way for her to then survive is she realizes that she, has to survive, basically. So this one follows rules perfectly. It's a good watch. It's funny. Yeah.
I love Until Dawn as well. I'm with you on that one. I think it took the game and it took the concept of what was in the game, in that once you kill off a character, they're gone, and then changed it so once you kill off a character, we'll bring them back, but they're slowly turning into the monsters. And that's part of your mental degradation rule, which I really like about it. And it's really obvious when you see the sign-in book and you see the sign-in
Yeah, the
signatures start really
signatures
clear.
start getting worse.
Yeah, getting worse and worse and worse. So look, of yours, I haven't seen Haunter. I loved Until Dawn, and I adored both Happy Death Day movies. I thought they were quite a pleasant surprise. There is a Chinese remake of a Happy Death Day as well, but I haven't seen it yet.
Oh.
I'd love to hunt it down and watch it.
I can tell you how it ends.
I think we all know how it ends. That's for sure. It's all a dream. And this is why actually I was very tempted to bring a couple of Chinese movies in there that were all a dream. But I don't think waking up in a dream when it's only one loop counts. So
I have a question. Are any of these movies scary?
I think I'm rather
mean,
desensitized to horror that I
Yeah,
can't.
no, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like,
Yeah.
is there an element of horror? Is there an element of scare in these movies? Like the
Horror, yes.
slasher, yeah, the
So
slasher's always going to qualify.
Yeah. I
I
think
think
Until Dawn definitely as well. The horror, yes.
the first time that I watched Until Dawn, again, I went in I don't watch movie trailers. I don't like really read too much into the stuff. Um, I didn't really know what I was getting into, and there were a couple of scenes that did kind of unnerve me, like chasing scenes. I that's like that's a fear for me. I don't like feeling like anything's behind me. If somebody's chasing me, at that point, I might just kind of be like, all right, just get it over with. So in that movie, there was a lot of scenes that definitely unnerved me. I don't know if I would say scared me because like Dan said, I'm sensitized as well. But Haunter, I love supernatural movies. That's actually like my favorite genre is supernatural.
Yeah.
Um, and this is kind of a low budget movie, so there's things that definitely could have been better. Had this had a better budget, I would definitely say that it was creepy. The atmosphere is unsettling. The way that the story plays out, because I don't really want to ruin it if anybody wants to watch it, or should I just kind of spoil it?
It's up to
Like
you.
spoiler alert. So
If it's
the
relevant.
main
Yeah.
character, it is. It's important for the looping point, and the main character, she is stuck in a loop, but she's already like she's deceased and she's stuck in a loop, already dead, and she's being haunted at a certain point in this loop, which starts to make the loop less loopy, which then leads to her, mental degradation. She starts losing her mind because she's starting to be haunted. And it turns out she's actually being haunted by the person who lives in her house, that she's technically the one haunting the house. This person is alive, getting help from her. And she helps that person. And this, in a way, helps break her loop. it's creepy to
I like
think
that
that
idea.
like it it's a great idea, obviously, that had a lot of limitations because of the budget. But as far as like time loops go, especially if you're leaning into more of the horror aspect and trying to escape the sci-fi part, this is a great way to go about it. To have it be like this weird, supernatural thing that's happening to the character. You don't know why it's happening until the end, and it's not what you think it is in the least bit, and it's scary because it's like, is she in a loop because of this, or is she in a loop because of that? And then, there's also another ghost that's actually there as well. I don't want to go into that.
Okay.
It's a lot. But um I would uh, I'm always like afraid that there's going to be like some malevolent spirit in my house. So to answer your question, like, are these movies scary? Like, it's a scary idea, it's a scary premise, and it's a very well done loop
Mm,
idea, and it does follow the rules.
okay.
But
To bring it back to that.
I don't think any of us get scared when we watch these movies, though, Ned, which is a bit of a shame. I miss that fear. Really do.
Yeah.
I want to look at Kurt wrote something interesting. Is that true about the plot that was removed from Groundhog Day?
Yeah, I'd be
That
curious
they
to know
applied that
too.
supernatural element to it that was removed from the movie?
If that's true, that would definitely have put Groundhog Day as more of a horror film. If there was voodoo black magic involved, that would have been very interesting.
Yeah. Bill Murray's known to
Would've been
to
fun.
dabble in his movies. I thought I had read something or seen something that Groundhog Day was potential to be a little bit more sinister. I know Back to the Future was supposed to be before they casted Michael J. Fox, they casted the redhead from the 80s. I can't remember his name. Stoltz? Eric Stoltz?
Eric Stoltz.
Yeah. And he played a very serious character who, kind of like what Holly was saying, was he said, no, this character Marty would be messed up going in the back into the past and seeing his dad and seeing these people. He would be freaking out inside. And Zemeckis and everybody was like, yeah, we kind of want to make this a fun movie, so you're out of here.
It's like, you're a little too intense.
Yeah, that might have, so Back to the Future might have been a horror movie.
Nah,
Now I have a question for both of you.
Yeah.
Are any of these movies scary?
I see what you did there, Ned.
I mean, we know Slasher is always going to qualify as a horror movie, just by its nature. But and I know we don't get afraid of these movies per se, but
did you type that out to remember it?
Scary to make it a horror movie.
I hate you, Ned. I hate you. Okay.
Oh, Kurt's got something interesting in the chat. Is that true about Groundhog Day?
Anyway, Holly, we shall move on. We'll leave Ned stuck in his own time loop. I'm going to test your rules with my 3 selections, and I'm going to see how off I was in mine. So the first one I'm going to test you with is probably one you haven't seen yet, although I did drop it in for you to watch, so I don't know if you had a chance to. Haunted Mountains, The Yellow Taboo from Taiwan. And why I think this slightly subverts your rules is it's because it's a different character's death, not the main character, but a different character's death that triggers the catalyst for the repeating day. So, am I allowed to call this a time loop movie based on your rules?
Is it a different character each time?
No, same character.
The same character. So then wouldn't it just be a death is the reset apparatus? It doesn't have to be the main character.
All right, beautiful. Then I think this one qualifies then. And this adds an extra element, is that there's
Congratulations, Dan.
Yeah, I know. There's a second character in this movie. There's a second character in this movie that's also experiencing the time loop as well. So there's 2 characters both experiencing the time loop in the film, and they both meet each other and both realize that they're in a time loop together. And the other character has a different person's death that's triggering the loop for them. So that's why I find this one quite interesting. It has a very low rating on TMDB. Not that I should ever believe anything on TMDB. It does have an extraordinarily low rating. which I don't agree with. But anyway, that's my first choice, and I'm glad that you picked it. Now, Holly, I'm going to go on to my second one, which is...
Hold on, Holly. Do you like it when Dan references TMDB? I think it's hysterical. It's like, we use IMDb.
Yeah, well, I use both, but the thing is I get all my graphics and information from TMDB, so I just, get everything
from there. Is that also
first.
something that Jeff Bezos does? Is that also an Amazon product, TMDB, or is that a different...
No, it's a completely independent run by a bunch of people who are terminally online, who are very, very anal, and who keep deleting every video that I link there to a trailer because it's not the official source. So they can get fucked. And they're weirdos. Anyway, my second one. Now, in this slot, I originally had Until Dawn, right? And I thought it was a bit of subverting to the time loop because it was showing degradation. But then I saw your rules that said degradation, and I thought, nah, this matches it completely. So I had a scratching my head to remember another one, and so I came up with Remember, also called Karada Sagashi. Now, this one, I believe, falls into traditional time loop because this one only resets when all the characters die. So one character can die, that's fine. Two characters, fine. But all 6 or 7 must die for the loop to begin again. What do you think about this one?
Well, isn't that
First of all, you misspelled it.
Wow, this font doesn't have a slash. This font doesn't have any special character, so I had to put it as one word.
That slash is intentional, Dan. You know that.
I know it is, yeah.
Right? For those who don't know the plot, how do they break the cycle, Dan? How do these young misfits from different backgrounds who are both revealing their isolation experience and learning to bond together as a group of people trapped in some kind of a detention-ish time loop?
Yep.
How are they to break?
Can't even imagine what you're referencing.
Yeah.
Hold on. What are you referencing? Is it like Breakfast Club?
Hey!
It's okay.
Whoa!
I hate you both. It's too early in the day. It's Saturday for you, but it's early. It's Sunday morning for me.
So listen, I've been going all day. It's nighttime over here, so.
How does this club of kids who sometimes have breakfast together, how do they get out of this time loop? How do they break it?
They have to stick all the body parts back together.
All the members.
All the members.
Of the body.
Yeah. Which the actual Japanese title is called Find My Body, which I think sounds so much better.
It's even more on the nose.
Just hitting you in the face with what's happening. Exactly.
Make dead girl body back.
No. See, it's like when you see, like remember the other day when I was telling you what the Chinese title to Halloween was?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Well, the actual
Chinese title, poster, right?
Yeah. When you translate it, it means like Midnight Killer Man or something like that. Like it's just, what's the plot of the movie? Boom, there you go.
There it is.
All right, my final one, Holly.
That way you know what you're going into.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Dan. P.S. This movie sucks. Continue.
Does not. No, I disagree with you, Ned. I don't think this movie sucked at all. Perhaps
I think I got an ally. I think I have an ally in the chat.
No, I think
this movie is not good.
I think the chat agrees with me. Love the monster in this movie, the red person. No, Kurt's on my side in the chat.
Yeah. I meant on the stream.
On the stream, okay.
Kurt is also very partial to Japanese horror, so he doesn't count.
He does. No, he tends to grade on a curve when it comes to Nihongo.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I appreciate Kurt's input into
Nihongo movies.
I think I like the idea of this movie with like the having to find like the body parts and like stuff like that. I like the idea. I just thought that the execution of this movie was not great. And then again, all I kept thinking about was like Breakfast Club, and I didn't like it.
It was way too cutesy, and it was way too yawny. like cringe. And
Yeah.
Kurt's right though. The monster was pretty cool.
Hmm.
That was the best element of it. But then, like even that opening death sequence when the bodies just start being whipped around, it's so like staged and put on, and nothing's earned, and there's so many deaths off camera, and ugh.
So I forgive movies like this when they're aimed at teenagers because I always remember that the audience is not us. The audience is a teenage audience. So I always have to. And it's the same thing I did with Five Nights at Freddy's. I took a step back and go, what's Five Nights at Freddy's trying to achieve? It's not trying to scare us. It's trying to introduce a new audience to horror. And so I look back at this movie and I go, it's not trying to scare the seasoned pros like us. It's just trying to ease a certain new audience into genre because most people will then go from Remember to Battle Royale and then they're lost. And then they go to Tokyo Gore Police and within the space of 3 movies, they're gone.
I don't think so. I don't think anyone who likes Remember decides to go to Tokyo Gore Police. Not in any universe.
I don't know. I'm seeing like a really, really big jump from like Remember to Battle Royale. Like that's a leap.
That's another leap. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to give you my third movie then, and I think Kurt's going to like this one.
Is it Japanese?
Yeah. Okay,
I'm glad you did this. Go. Because I was going to ask if you thought this is a time loop movie, and apparently you do. Please.
Now, there's a for and against on this one. The for time loop is the fact that they get to the end of the corridor and it starts again, right? So they are looping what's happening. Where I feel it doesn't end up at a time loop is the ending when it turns into a Chinese horror movie / the introduction to Final Destination, where he wakes up in the car, in the carriage, and he knows what's about to happen and he knows what he needs to do in order to avoid getting into the loop that he's just dreamt about for the last hour and a half. So this is why I'm like yes and no with this film. But I think the bulk of it is a time loop. I just don't think it ends as a time loop movie should end.
Really? That's how you saw that ending?
How else would you say it?
I thought he was found himself once again stuck in the same time loop.
Well, no, I don't feel that he was stuck in the same time loop. I thought that he knew what to do to get out of it, which was to tell the guy to shut up in the train and come to the lady's defense.
I'm really upset that I missed the watch party.
Okay.
Kurt, back me up here. We'll just give him a second to type up his response. But
since I didn't get to watch this one,
all right, so
Ned, you're going to have to help me. Is this a time loop?
I was debating it myself. As we entered the stream, I was going to bring this movie up and ask that question here. Or as Dan would say, here.
Here? Call blimey, love.
I think it could qualify. I can't argue against it, to be honest, because he's and especially with the walking middle-aged man, you know, who I don't want to give up. I don't want to tell too much because I do recommend you watch this movie, Holly. In fact, it's eerily that earlier that day I was having a discussion on what video game adapted movies are worth their salt, and this one climbed right into my top 3, which is not necessarily a ringing endorsement for Exit 8, more so a condemnation on video game adaptations are mostly shit.
Oh, except for the House of the Dead.
I haven't seen it, but I'll take your word for it. Maybe I should put that on next.
No, it's a joke.
But I enjoyed Exit 8. Exit 8 is by far the best movie we've seen on the live stream. Not the live stream, on the movie, on our watch parties.
The watch party.
Yeah. See, as Kurt says, to break the loop, he has to follow his instinct or whatever it is, which is, does he tell the baby to shut up or does he tell the guy to shut up to defend the baby? I thought it was interesting how they added a story to Exit 8. I don't necessarily like the whole concept of the story.
Yeah, I wasn't sure I liked it either. I was really because they went right there, like
mm,
what they do.
didn't
What
hold
like obviously you have two choices. And
All right, guys, I'm
anyways,
still
I
a
have
little under
opinions
the
on that,
weather.
but I'll keep it to myself right now.
Yeah, and I'm also not sure I liked. I think I mentioned it. I'm not like the twist halfway through the movie where the movie shifts focus. That
Mhm.
kind of doesn't make sense at all.
I was down
Interest.
with it. I was
Yeah,
down
I
with
don't know.
it. I'll tell you what
Sorry.
else I liked about it.
Yeah.
I was afraid it was going to be a POV movie,
Yes, you did
and
say that, and it wasn't. Yeah.
the POV was just as a setup,
Mm.
and I appreciated that because it worked for that aspect of the movie. So I thought, not really knowing anything about the video game, short of what you shared with me briefly when you put the trailer out for this, um, I I thought the director, did a pretty dang good job of framing this in a feature length film.
Did the couple of the anomalies that I'm kind of upset didn't make it were there's actual death anomalies in the game where if you continue down the hallway, you get killed. Your character dies.
Mhm.
But then it resets. And I was kind of hoping, and I'm kind of thinking it actually happened in the film that
Mm.
he died
Well,
during one point in the loop.
I think it did show that in one instance,
Yeah, yeah. So,
for sure.
so that's good that it kept that there because I think that helped change the concept of what happened in the loop. I think it's a movie you really should give a go, Holly. It's very interesting.
I think Kurt said he was going to stream it again tomorrow, so if he does, I'm probably
Hopefully it
going to
rains
jump on
better.
that.
Yeah, hopefully
Hopefully.
it
But
plays a bit
like,
better.
I definitely want to see because I now like since I haven't seen it, I'm like, okay, so is it looping or is it not looping?
Well, I think Ned and I both agree that there are definite elements of looping in it.
I feel it qualifies.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
definitely wouldn't check all your boxes, Holly, but I do feel it qualifies.
Yeah. Now, there was another movie that I was very tempted to add to this, and that was the Chinese remake of The Shallows, but I felt it came under sci-fi too much.
Yeah.
And that's the movie with the shark lady that keeps repeating every time the shark kills her. And so she's
But
got
you
to try
reviewed it
and
on your channel, and you're a horror movie channel, Dan.
well, yes,
Ask
but I
somebody.
also like to do monster movies as well and creature features. So that's why it made it in. And also because the second half of that movie stops being a time loop film. Like there's no repeating days anymore or repeating elements. And the other thing is it's a simulation. It's not a day that actually happens. Everything's happening in a simulation. So I don't feel like any of that possibly matches Holly's criteria that came up there. But there are my three choices. Three movies that I enjoyed, regardless of what you said about Remember. So, Ned.
Yeah.
This is what you've got for us.
Yeah. Overrated. So Holly and I were talking about this before the show and I think we kind of alluded to it earlier at the start of the stream that, POV and found footage in general. Found footage is clearly the bottom rung of horror subgenres.
No, vampire.
Now, time loops is a wonderful, fun movie concept. And I just think it's the degree of difficulty to make it a horror movie because you have to veer so close to sci-fi that I think it's difficult. So some of these movies, I mean, an argument can be made that there may be more sci-fi than horror, but what I put in my criteria to make it not necessarily time loop, to make it horror, because I believe all these are in fact time loop movies, they have to have some element of horror, being gore, a killer, and or some kind of high tension, and death is on the line and there's like some serious consequences. So that's kind of was sort of my measuring stick on whether it's a time loop horror movie. So without ado, we can go ahead.
There you go.
And when I saw this movie, I just found that the lead character is just completely despicable, and how she seems, and maybe she's the catalyst for the time loop, but it's got this sense of nihilism And clearly that's kind of what the movie, when it cycles through the end and you kind of see how all the different threads are being weaved and pulled, and the overlay of the different time loops, it's revealed that, she is in fact kind of stuck in sort of a time loop purgatory of her own making. And I know that was the twist gotcha element that has made this what I believe to be a cult classic now. And I know people drool over this movie. I couldn't get none of the characters in it were particularly appealing to me. I could care less about any one of their demises, and particularly the lead. I think the whole idea of a mask going around, and then with the reveal that she is the one wearing the mask, just kind of like kills all my suspension of disbelief with it. And the character that I feel the most for is her son. And that kid is done dirty in this movie, and I just feel it's and to me that's the worst element. That's the most distasteful element of it. Even though the son's not a big part of the movie in terms of screen time, we know that supposedly is what's driving the motivation for this character to indulge in this loop. So this movie, I'm going to give it props for trying to weave into a creative time loop type of story, but I just don't like it. I just didn't like it.
I won't accept you saying nasty things about an Australian soap opera drama queen. Melissa George is an Australian darling, and how dare you say anything bad about her?
Okay, well, I dare. Dare I? Okay, I wasn't rooting for her. Okay.
But I think you should be rooting for her, Ned. I really do think so.
Listen, you can watch her soap operas, and you can root all day long watching her. Okay.
I'm glad I taught you what that word really means.
What it really means.
Holly,
I can't unhear it.
Holly, I think we talked about this one before Ned arrived earlier today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this movie, the gore is cool. I like the difference in this one that you see, like, after the multiple loops, you do see like all of the people that are dead. You continue to see their bodies, which is different because not a lot of other loop movies do that. Usually it's just like a full, like a hard reset, and like everything restarts, but this is different in that. I will say this, so the reason that I don't watch this movie more is because of what you were saying about the son. That kid is, it's messed up. I said that before, like it's a messed up movie. But this was what I was also saying before. She can leave the loop. She's just choosing not to.
Yep.
She knows what she has to do, but she is choosing not to. And I've actually seen people talking about this movie online, and it seems pretty split. Some people, the admirable, sorry. Other people think like she's just narcissistic, and she clearly is just very prone to violence, and she's just going to keep going on with this loop because, how many times did she do this? How many times did she kill all these people?
Nope, she's completely narcissistic. Yes, she is.
Yeah.
She is a psychopath, and she's a narcissist, 100%.
So based on the fact that you two have pretty much told me the entire movie, do I even bother watching it?
You can watch it. I don't think we told you the entire movie. I mean, even though, I mean, you listen, when you're watching a movie, and if you've seen as many horror movies as we have, I think there's a point late in the first act where everyone goes, I bet you she's the killer. It's one of those things. And then but even after it's revealed, it is still kind of interesting seeing things play out because there's an overlay. By all means, I'd be interested in your take on it. I mean, it's not a cheap movie. They made it for $12 million, which by horror movie standards isn't cheap, especially in 2009. Um, and it was shot. I mean, I think putting it on that ship, even though most of it was on a soundstage, I think it had some good direction and some good cinematography for what it was. But
Is this an Aussie movie? Because it's most of the cast is Australian.
Icon Entertainment.
Oh, Mel Gibson's company. Right. Okay. Yep. Well,
I
that
would
used to be Mel
definitely
Gibson's
say
company.
I would say you should watch it. Um, if like if for anything, to at least watch like the time loop happen and to see like the reset and all the other factors because it does do something slightly different. Like I said,
Hmm.
the way that the time loop in this one differs is like I said, even though it's restarting and she's killing all these people, the bodies are staying there. It's not like in other time loop movies where it restarts, everything is back to exactly the way it was when it started. No, like she keeps killing all these people. She's on the ship, and you are seeing like
Yeah.
5 bodies of the same person just piled up.
And
Ooh, I
I
like
don't know if
that.
I like that either,
Cool.
though. It's like because it's not a real paradox, But and that was clearly meant for just purely for effect, just for us to show that this person is unhinged. But again, I put overrated, Dan. I didn't hate this movie. I just think it gets way more praise and love than it deserves.
Does her having an axe on the cover kind of give away the fact that she is a killer?
And you see the reflection of the killer with the mask holding the axe as well. I mean, make that what you will.
All right. Shall we move on, Ned?
By all means.
Underrated. Ark.
So this is probably the least horror type movie on my list here. But I'm going to say it's underrated because, right around pre-pandemic, I would say Netflix was just a trove of thumbnails that people just kind of slew through. And this was actually sort of a blessed time where they weren't pumping movies in your face. So I'm not sure how many people have seen Arc, particularly if you don't have Netflix. I doubt you've seen it, but it's got all of Holly rules qualify, and it explains itself fully, which time loop movies for me don't have to have explanations to them as long as they provide you with a really interesting story premise and some good characters in it, or at least one. But I like pretty much all the characters in this, and you sort of like them on a very surface level, and you get to know them deeper. And there's a couple different layers to get unpeeled. But what makes the movie interesting to me as the story develops is that different people start to wake up. So it's a very self-contained movie. And it was made for a very, very small budget. It's $2 million. But it all takes place within one singular location. And with you have a man and a woman, they wake up in a bed, and only the man remembers what happened. And then as the time loops start to get further along, she remembers. And then one of the villains starts to remember. So then now they have these two forces at work where the villain, like who's going to be one step ahead of the other person as these time loops reset. And all these, if they die, they get reset too. And then, but there's also points too where, early on where kind of like in Happy Death Day where someone's like, oh, I got this. I finally got everything to work perfectly the way I wanted to, but oh my gosh, now this person's dead. I need them to live. So now I have to kill myself and reset and start it all over again. It maintains this unrelenting tension throughout the movie that I just found really appealing. Again, a very self-contained movie. It's not going to blow your eyebrows off, but it held my interest, and I give it a thumbs up.
Now, Nitty, Wikipedia has this listed as a sci-fi action film.
I can see that. I can see that as a sci-fi action film. For sure, but it's got some gore elements in it, and it's
Mhm.
got some high tension. It's a thriller, and I did preface this is probably the least horror movie on
Yeah.
my list.
The synopsis here actually sounds really good, to be honest. Really, really good. And you actually had this in the next category. You didn't have it in this category, so you changed this pre-show. This was actually listed as your next selection, not this selection.
Okay, well, I did. Let's see what you got. Let's see how you reformatted this.
Well, yeah, because this was what Holly. Have you got anything to add about Ark?
I haven't seen this one.
All right, so we might skip to the next category, which
It
is
stars Green Arrow. He's a handsome man. I didn't mind watching him.
I don't know where the
Oh,
S's come
hey.
from. Sorry, the
Look
S's
at
are
that.
mistake.
That was great. What a great reaction. I was like, oh, hey, you. There you are, Endless.
I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
So I'm going to preface this again because I like prefacing and I don't like saying anything in just one sentence. First time through, I didn't love this movie.
It's very slow.
It was a while. I watched it, I think, back in 2020. And this was on my this movie list that I did with two of my close friends, Keith and Keith. K2, you know one of them, Dan. He's been on the live stream. And we, I think, I don't remember if they liked it more than I did, but I wanted to revisit it. There was 3 or 4 movies I revisited as we prepare for this live stream. And this was the one that I actually found myself changing my mind on for the better. It was shot for $1 million. And what they did with that $1 million in terms of some of the simplistic effects and how they had to use, careful camera angles to give you sort of the sense something was brooding, and some of the silly camera tricks that they pulled. None of it felt hammy or ham-fisted. And the plight of the brothers felt like very real, particularly sort of, the beginning. It is slow how they develop to where they're going to get going. And as you're watching this movie, you're kind of waiting for some of the supernatural elements to reveal themselves. And I think, and they do very satisfactorily. And you could see this has degradation at a 10. And they show. I'm trying not to. I don't want to reveal too much about the movie, Dan, because I think this would be worth your time.
Okay.
Because I know you also grade on a curve with independent movies, and this was written, directed, and paid for by these 2 gentlemen who then starred as the brothers for the movie.
Oh, awesome.
But basically, the high level premise is they are survivors of a cult. And even though they show them when they were younger, we are led to believe that the younger brother was, the older brother was, trust me, bro, this is a death cult. Let's get out of here. And now they're living, this life in sort of squalor. They got like a shit job and they feel thankless and they're struggling and they're eating ramen noodles. All that stuff is played on the first 5 minutes of the movie. And the younger brother is kind of having this nostalgia, like, was it really bad in that camp? And he somehow convinces his older brother to go back there. And we learn that there is something pretty wild going there with that camp, and that they, in fact, might have just actually escaped a scenario where they could have died. What makes it really interesting is that as this stuff is revealed, the younger brother starts to think, well, you know what? Sign me up. This isn't so bad. This is better than the life we have. And the older brother is trying to remain, he's trying not to get himself attached to anybody there. And because he's ready to pull the parachute and get them the hell out of there. This was only supposed to be a quick visit. I think the part that I had the hardest time with was why they went back to the camp. Really didn't kind of make sense that this was a death camp that they escaped. But, the movie needed to happen, right?
So what's the time loop element in it?
I don't want to say.
So, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to
It's a
say
difficult.
because it's something that you kind of have to get in. You have to kind of get into, but I like how it's handled, and I don't think Holly does because it breaks one of her criterias.
So I was rewatching this one like today. I did rewatch this one today. Um, I do have a better appreciation for it now than I did before, because before I was just like, this is just boring. Um, it's still, in a way, yes, it kind of follows the rules, but like I was saying before, they now I don't want to ruin anything. Um, like they are not the ones looping. That's why it's I took
Yes,
it off my list. That's why I took it
Huh.
off the
Right.
list because
That's
they
enough
are
yes,
clue,
not the
folks.
ones.
that's
Yeah.
that's the tension. They're not looping yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Don't say
Yeah.
anymore. Don't say anymore.
I know. I'm like, I don't want to say anything else.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think this one's well worth a check out then. Probably more than the Aussie slasher Triangle.
Yeah, you'll appreciate
Yeah.
it, Dan. I think for a low budget independent movie.
Excellent. All right. Shall we go to your next category, Ned?
Let's do it.
Here we go.
So I'd never heard of this movie. In fact, it was difficult for me to find it. Um, but I'd heard some, a couple points talk about just different elements, and so I this is one of those movies that I came across as we kind of prepare for the stream in the last couple weeks. Um, I agree with everything that Holly said about this movie. I think the fact that it made our top three maybe kind of puts a hole in this being an under the radar movie. Maybe it's not an under the radar movie. I honestly I never heard of it until I started honestly kind of like searching for time loop movies. I'll be completely frank.
I saw it like I have passed this movie so many times, I think on Netflix like years ago when it was still on there, and I just never bothered to watch it up until I was also preparing, and I was just like, all right, fine. Like it's here,
Ah,
I might as well. So I think it is under the radar.
cool. All right. Um, I so you gave quite a bit of the plot away, which I'm fine with. I will say that what I liked most about this movie was it did the 1980s justice, with one huge exception. Um, but the 1980s, I felt I really got a good feel for it. I really enjoyed the finding out when you found out who the villain was. I thought the villain's portrayal was quite menacing, particularly in the late part of the first act and second act. And then it plays on a movie trope that's done with, let's just say, like Amityville Horror. Okay. It's like, what if Amityville Horror repeated itself and there was a reason for it? And it kind of gives like a sort of a backstory to it. And like Holly's revealed that, the main character is actually a deceased ghost in the house. And she is, unbeknownst to her, actually haunting people who are living there currently. And she's got to try to sort of unravel this mystery of, okay, how did this happen? How did she die? What's the menace behind it? So I very much like the creativeness behind this movie. This is what this is the marks against it. I didn't like the main character. I thought, again, this is a low budget movie. It was what was it shot for? $5 million. Canadian independent company put it out there, but her haircut was not 1980s. Her hair was so contemporary, I couldn't get around it.
She needed
And
curly before, did she, Ned?
it
It
didn't.
was kind of like the Avril Lavigne kind of
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
style.
It had like sort
I
of
feel
like the
like
long straight in with like the all the not the uneven ends. with
Yeah.
the twice part hair. It was too well done, and she was supposedly she woke up. She didn't look like she was deranged, even though she had been stuck in that time loop forever. She acted
For
like
like what,
she
like
acted like
30
a mopey
years?
teenager. I thought to myself, maybe my son's stuck in a time loop because he acts just like her.
Wow.
So
So I try to like with that aspect, I try to be like, okay, well, she has been in this loop for God only knows how long. So she's kind of developed like a stoicness to it, is the way that I was trying to read it to give her a little bit
okay.
of the benefit of the doubt.
So
But that was like my
is the
thing.
movie set in the 80s, or she was supposed to have been died in the 80s?
Yes.
She, yeah.
All right. Because
Yes.
I'm wondering why she's wearing Chucky Converses in that poster.
Oh,
too.
yeah, she is.
Yes. I'll
So-
say yes to that, Dan.
Clearly, she's keeping up with fashion trends at the time. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are running very short of time, and Ned has one more, so we're going to quickly skip into it because we have.
I'll say one more thing about this movie. I
Yes,
think
please.
another thing that hurt it was the fact that it felt very YA. Felt like felt very PG-13. And I think it missed a level of grittiness. And I felt like I was not the target audience as I got further along in the movie.
Oh, it's just like me with Remember.
My only issue with it really ended up just being how slow it got after the reveal.
Yeah.
That was my biggest issue with it. It should not have slowed down as much as it did for that runtime.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'll be prepared for that too. All right, final category. Oh, you two can fight it out.
I won't watch this movie. I've seen enough about it. Right from the first trailer, I said, I'm not a big slasher guy as far as horror movies go.
I've learned.
Like The Mask. I'm like, another Mask movie. And then when I heard the director or producer, director, they said, "Oh, it's like Scream meets Groundhog Day." And I said, "Okay, so this is a lazy movie." And I can feel how it's going to unravel. And the trailers didn't thrill me. Listening to people talk about it doesn't get me excited. The character looks absolutely like a complete asshole, in all the trailers I've seen of her. Yeah, I'm like, okay, so she's supposed to become a nice person towards the end of it, I bet. And learn her lesson. But like, is this a horror movie? Like, what am I getting myself into? It's a rinse repeat. And I said, this is one of those movies that I just decided to take a total pass on.
Wait, so you've never seen
judged
it?
the book by its cover?
I judged. Well, I mean, it's the time we're living in, isn't it? Where, like, Dan, that's one of the reasons why I watch your damn channel, brother.
Ouch.
I love you because you dip into the cesspool of movies that I don't want to. I'm curious about, but I don't know if I want to invest time into. And you do it willingly.
He's like, the stuff that I'm curious about, but I'm not going to waste my time on, is what he just said.
Yeah, like I'm whipping through the thumbnails on whatever Shudder and Amazon, and I think, oh wait, this guy did a review on it. Okay. Great, I won't watch that one. You know what kills me though, Dan? I'm going on a bit of a side tangent here, and I'm doing it on purpose because I know you're watching the clock. So, the best movies that you reviewed, the ones that I'm the most interested in seeing, I can't get them here. Like, I couldn't even watch The Shallows. The Shallows was a movie I wanted to dip my toe into after your review, and then preparing for this. Did you find it, Holly?
No. See, I've had this problem since, like, I started watching him years ago, that he would watch these movies and I'm like, oh, that sounds so cool. And then I would try to find it. I'd never be able to find it.
I want to see Cam. I want to see the sisters. That movie looks dope. I still haven't watched your review of it.
Lucky we have the Movie Share channel on Discord where some of these movies are shared. So The Shallows was shared on there, Ned. So you should have got it from the Movie Share. If not, I'll have to pop it back up.
Please.
In regards to the sisters, I'm still waiting for a proper English subtitled version. But I am actually legitimately confused why I could go to the cinema and watch it with English subtitles, and then a streaming release comes out without it. So that's weird.
What country is that one from?
It's a Vietnamese film. It's
I
a
think I've seen that.
it's a kind of a Cinderella type film.
Yeah, I wanted to see that. And
Yeah.
it is weird. Like when I was in Japan, for instance, I was watching Shin Ultraman on YouTube. And I got like through like the first act of it, and I wanted to download it, and so I could watch it on the airplane ride home. And Japan would restricted me from viewing it because of the country I was in.
So you couldn't watch the YouTube link in Japan.
That's right. But I had to wait till I landed in Georgia before I could put it on and download it.
Was it an official channel that you were watching it off, or some
It was a free movie on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm guessing that that sounds like it's been
That's why I like
region
the
protected,
VPNs.
unfortunately. Oh well. This has been interesting because what you both have given me is a handful of movies that I've never heard of to start with, that you've got me curious about. So I'm going to start checking out a few of these ones, and you'll see opinions popping up about them shortly. What do we want to talk about next?
Time Crimes is not a time loop movie.
No, I won't watch it. You didn't talk about it in this video, so I'm not going to watch it.
I like that.
It's a hill I'm gonna die on now after rewatching it. It's not a time loop movie.
I'm so glad you said it because K2's favorite time loop movie is Time Crimes.
It's not a time loop. It's a
I won't
time
argue.
travel movie.
Yeah.
And I
I'm not
hate
gonna
that it
argue with
always
you.
comes up as a time loop movie because it's not. Just because he tries to redo the events to match up to a certain thing, it doesn't make it a time loop. It's time
You
travel.
should have led with this. This is great.
Oh, I know, because now I'm mad again.
I want you to be mad. I like
Yeah,
I like
Mad
Angry
Holly's good,
Holly.
This is a loop. This is time travel. It's a straight line that you can then bounce back and forth or go here and then redo. It's two different things. Loop, straight line, bouncing
Is
back.
this a Spanish movie? Is this the one you guys are referring to?
Yes.
A man gets in a time machine and travels back nearly an hour. Finding himself will be the first in a series of disasters. Yeah, I don't see that as a loop.
It's
Ooh, I
like
can
one of the
watch that.
first things that comes up when you look
love
for
it.
like time loop movies. It always comes up because he tries to recreate certain things
Mhm.
exactly so,
Mm.
which I guess to some people it kind of is like, oh, well, that's loopy because he's doing the same things. But that is it's a mindful action. He's doing that on purpose with the time traveling thing that he's doing. Whereas the loop, it's not intentional. Like they're constantly trying to break the loop. They're not trying to keep doing the same thing and recreating the same things over and over again because they're trying to get out of it. Whereas he's recreating certain events to get to the end point. So it's not a loop. It's time travel with looping qualities. If you really, if you're stuck on that, it has looping qualities, I guess, but it's not a loop.
I
if
wish
we're talking
Keith
about
was on
shit
to debate
masks-
you.
If we're talking
Huh?
about shit masks, Ned, look at the poster on the. That's a shit mask.
It's not even a
What?
mask.
A bloodied
I like
bandage.
Kurt's backing me up, by the way.
Oh, that Blumhouse?
Blumhouse, Ned, I believe you're dodging a bullet, but he's talking about Happy Death Day. I think.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Well, just how he loves J horror, he absolutely despises Blumhouse. So it doesn't matter what it is. If he sees
Sorry.
Blumhouse, it's like, it's garbage.
I don't know. Does he deliberately called it Bumhouse?
Yes.
I'm not entirely disagreeing with him. I think Blumhouse delivers more stinkers than anything. They have a very low hit rate. I mean, they're shotgun fire, right?
Just like
They
I
hope
think
that
that
one BB hits.
A24 is a completely overrated trash too.
I just think that Blumhouse sometimes has really good ideas and then they just like mess them up by always wanting to
Yeah.
make like PG-13. You know,
Yeah, because they want to appeal to an audience. It's like a punch you right in the room. They go, "What if?" And that's the movie.
So your problem is you need to get rid of this PG-13.
Yes.
I think movies need to be grittier for sure. when it tries to appeal to too many people, I mean, it's not just horror movie problems. It's plaguing the entire movie industry. If you're trying to appeal to a larger audience, the expression holds true. When you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing nobody.
Absolutely
It's
correct.
like when movies try to shoehorn like random romance plots. I hate romance movies, so when they do that, I'm instantly turned off. Like you can't win every fight. You can't please everybody. Just stop trying. Know your
Yeah.
audience
Mm-hmm.
and work with that. Don't try to add in all of these extra things or omit things because you want it to be able to be PG-13 and then it sucks.
And the shoehorned romances, I believe there's a word for that they call shipping.
Is
Ooh,
that the
for
new
shipping.
Is that the new thing?
Ooh,
They
no
even
dance.
fuck up their R-rated ones. Yeah, I always get confused with your R-rated is like our version of an M rating. So when I hear movies like you guys say, "Oh, it got an R rating," and then I look up the Australian rating, it's like this is M15. I'm like, oh, what are you guys on about?
M15. That sounds like an
Our R rating is a proper R
automated
rating.
weapon.
18 plus only.
Oh well.
Black
Yeah.
label. You need to be an adult Pulp Fiction style. You need $300 in the movie to get an R rating.
Mm.
I mean,
PG-13.
honestly, yeah, PG-13 is ruining horror movies.
Oh, 100%.
Ruined action movies too. Look what it did to Die Hard.
I think there's a little bit more leeway with action than there is with horror, though.
Yeah, sometimes they'll throw in like an F-bomb or two just to get the R rating because generally R-rated movies sell more. They I mean, that's just statistical fact that an R-rated movie generally outperforms other movies in box offices. Disney remake Lilo and Stitch, excluded, but
So
or
I'm
like
confused.
Jaws was supposed to be Jaws was going to get an R rating, but the studio said no. We need to get this to a PG rating, so they actually had to remove some of the scenes from Jaws.
And whereas
Which
over in
kills me.
Australia, it got an M rating and no one batted an eyelid. But I look at something like Five Nights at Freddy's, which I assume has a 13 rating, and
I believe it does.
It has no blood, and there's the idea that I'm going to get in your head, and so I knew straight away when the character said I'm going to get in your head, she's going to try and get in the head and make it explode. When a movie doesn't have blood, like I look back at that and go, it feels very weird to have an exploding head with no blood.
Five Nights at Freddy's is like a weird one for me because like the PG-13 aspect aside, it's weird because I feel like those movies are literally just made to introduce people to the games.
Yes.
Like
games.
there is the games.
There's
no other rhyme or reason to those movies existing other than to start referencing those games. And those games, apparently, they just become very convoluted as well with the story. Otherwise, I just don't see another reason for those movies being a thing.
Cash
you
grab.
and me see the opposite.
Cash grab.
I saw them as a way of introducing an audience into horror films slowly.
I
casually.
didn't see it that way.
The cash grab when the sequels come out super fast and the sequels cost 5 times as much money to make than the original.
Definitely
because there's some broken statistic where it says the more a movie costs, the more tickets you sell for it, which is total bullshit.
Yes.
They did it with, Happy Death Day 2. So Happy Death Day 1 cost $4.8 million to make. Do you have either of you can hazard a guess what Happy Death Day to you cost to make?
22.
Holly?
I'm just going to say a lot more because there was a time machine in it. 30.
So, what would you say?
30.
Now, you're closer than Dan. $125 million.
From 4 million to 100.
I was close.
Jesus.
No, I'm just kidding. No, it didn't cost that much money to make. But still, yes, it cost 3 times as much money to make that movie.
So I was closer. So it was 15 million.
Actually, I'm going to Google it.
Oh, are we all just guessing and you didn't actually know?
You didn't actually.
Yeah, I did. I wanted to guess. And you did. And you fell for my trap.
I like Kurt's comment. I miss the days of political incorrectness in Hollywood. I think we all do, Kurt. I think that's what we're lamenting right now.
Happy.
All right, hurry up, Ned, because we find the answer and we can say goodnight to everyone because Dan wants to go swimming, and I assume you guys go and want to watch a Saturday night horror film. So,
That's really cool.
Pressure's on you, Ned.
I don't care.
You know what?
I don't care, none.
I'm going to look it up.
$9 million.
9?
Yeah.
Oh, so it was a double budget.
It was a double budget.
Oh, you got us all excited for nothing.
I was expecting it to be much higher than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm disappointed.
You should be.
I'm actually dislike all the visual effects that we're getting now in a lot of.
I think I subverted your expectations, like to the point of inversion.
Indeed. All right, Kurt wants to go watch a Saturday Night J Horror Baby. So I think that were his exact words. It's Saturday Night J Horror Baby. I want to say thank you to both of you for an entertaining look at time loop films and some recommendations. I think we will brainstorm next episode. I think I've got a feeling we kind of know what we want to do, but let's talk about it later. I have been the Arty Dans. Who's this person?
Which way are you pointing? Is it me? Is it me? Hi.
It's you. Who's this person?
It's Holly signing off.
And who's this person?
I'm Nedd Knight. Good night, nerds.
Good night, everyone. See you later.